Hi, everyone. This is Ashley Latecki Ellenboss with Sky House Herb School and Apothecary, and today we'll be exploring dry skin, some of the patterns associated with dry skin, the causes, and then also some of my favorite herbs and herbal products. Now, this subject is very close to me because I've suffered from dry skin ever since my early 20s and probably even before that. But I remember in my early 20s having dandruff, my facial skin would dry and flake off. My hands were always really dry. And I didn't, I thought, well, the answer is lotion. Dry skin equals lack of moisture in the skin. But what I've learned as an herbalist is that it actually goes much deeper than that. So, what we're going to explore in this video are three reasons for dryness. And the way that we look at this in energetic terms would be we call this atrophy. So it's where the tissues of the body, the skin included, but more likely the tissues internally as well, are lacking fluids. And so there's a number of reasons why the tissues in the body might lack fluids. The first one is a lack of just simply a lack of water. We have two main fluid pathways in the body. One is the water pathway, the second is the oil pathway. So, those are the first two reasons. You might not have enough water, number one. You might not have enough oils, number two. And then this causes the tissues to become atrophied or dried out. And they sometimes, if they get really dried out, you can drink water and it'll just go right through you. You won't be able to actually hold moisture. The third reason why people suffer from dryness and dry skin is because of too much heat. And so if you think about, if you were to have, a puddle, a rain puddle on a hot sunny day, that heat is actually going to cook and evaporate up the water. So it might not be that there's not enough water, but it could be that there's too much heat. So we'll look at some of those reasons why that can happen as well. So let's start with a lack of water. So if the water pathways are not being sufficiently fed, this will cause dryness. You could be simply not drinking enough water day to day. So that would be a very simple fix, and something to try would be to increase your water intake. Another one would be that you might be drinking too many diuretics. So these are things like coffee and tea, eating foods that are very drying, like chickpeas are considered to be a very dry and astringent food, or other astringents in your diet, cranberry juice, things like that, that might actually be causing you to move fluids out of your body too quickly. So your body's not able to retain them and use them to moisturize and feed the tissues. The third reason is that you might not be able to hold water in your body. And so I hear a lot of clients say, I drink lots of water, but it just goes right through me. It's like my body can't hold these fluids. And so one of the reasons is for that is due to a lack of minerals. And the most common ones are things like magnesium, as I would probably say the top herb or the top mineral that people are really deficient in, and that can cause you to not hold fluids. And then trace minerals like copper and zinc and molybdenum and a number of other, very, very, minerals that you need in very small amounts. If your body doesn't have enough of these, then sometimes that can also keep your body from holding water and holding fluids. So let me share three things you can do if you feel like the water pathway is not being sufficiently fed in your body. So the first thing you can do is add a little bit of sea salt into your water. And so this is something that I like to do daily. So I just have this is a Yeti, but you really use any stainless steel or glass water container and add a pinch of sea salt to it. Now, there's a number of different types of salt. The pink Himalayan salt is really good. I've heard people say that the black mineral salts or black sea salts are actually more moisturizing. And I've actually tried that. I use a combination of black or gray sea salt and red clay salts from Hawaii, and they all have a very subtle, different taste to them. I find that the black sea salt or the gray salts are the most softening. So if you feel like there's hardness in your tissue and that might be part of why your body can't hold moisture, then you might want to try that, black or gray sea salt. And then the red clay salts have very subtle, I would say it's a little bit kind of invigorating for the tissues. So if you feel like your tissues are a little bit dull and lifeless, then you might want to try that red clay salt. Uh, and that might be a good thing to add in. The second thing that you can do is to drink a cold infusion of marshmallow root. And so this is really easy to make. You'll need to have a quart-sized mason jar, which is about this big. It holds about 4 cups of water. And what you'll do is you'll add a quarter cup of marshmallow root. This should be dried. The Latin name is Althea officinalis. So you'll add that into the bottom of the mason jar. You can add a pinch of cinnamon powder. And if you want to get really fancy, you could add just a pinch of rose petals. And these should be organic dried rose petals. Any species is fine. And again, it's mostly your marshmallow, okay? And then the cinnamon and the rose add a little bit of a flavor. They add a nice flavor to it. And they also kind of energize and wake up. I would say some of the medicinal properties of marshmallow. So, what you'll do is you'll add cold water on top of that, let it sit on your counter overnight. So, it's going to steep for about 8 hours. Then, strain it through any type of cloth or metal strainer, and then drink that full quart throughout the whole day. And you'll find that it's a little bit mucilaginous, so it's kind of like a thick, salty. It should have a sort of a salty taste. And again, that's minerals. Anytime you taste salt, that means minerals, and likely your body needs minerals. So this will be really helpful for you. Also, some of the mucilage in the marshmallow is going to be moistening to hard, dense tissues. So give that a try. The third thing you can try to help the water pathway is to use oils topically on your body to help hold moisture in, because you may also be losing water from your body through sweat or just through evaporation. So creating an oil barrier for your body to help you hold moisture in will also be a really helpful thing. So one of my favorite products that I've been using lately is Calendula. It's an infused oil. I'll hold it up here to the screen. So this one is made by Oshala Farms. They're based out of Oregon, and they make this calendula infused oil. That look at this just beautiful color. I love all of their products. So this is an organic, raw, cold-pressed olive oil infused with Calendula officinalis. So you can buy this from their website. And what I do is whenever I get out of the shower, I'll just put it all over my entire body. I also use it on my kids. We live in Minnesota and the winters are very dry. So I put it on my kids when they get out of their baths, and it really seems to lock the moisture in and help with sort of dry patches of skin. Okay. Another topical thing that you can use to help hold moisture in is it's called the Green Salve, and this is our Green Wonder Salve, and it's by Red Moon Herbs. These women, actually, Corinna, she was one of the first herbalists that I studied with back in when I lived in Asheville. You can't really see it very well, but it's called Red Moon Herbs. So I did my first herb walk with her in, gosh, I guess that would have been like 1998, 1997. Anyway, they make really wonderful salves. And so this one is called the Green Wonder Salve, and it has comfrey, plantain, and yarrow, and it's made with extra virgin olive oil and beeswax and vitamin E. So you can kind of see, let's see if it goes into focus. Their website is redmoonherbs.com, and Oshala Farms, their website is www.oshalafarm.com. So those are two great products. I also like to use this one for my hands. This is Burt's Bees Rescue Ointment. It's very similar to Red Moon, and I prefer Red Moon just because they're a smaller women-based company. But this one has olive fruit, beeswax, cocoa butter, wheat germ, lavender, sunflower, comfrey leaf, rosemary, and corn oil. So, it's not like it's probably a lot easier to find commercially is this one rescue ointment. Okay, now the next reason why people have issues with dry skin is lack of oils. So, the first thing to look at are the quality of oils in your diet. Are you eating enough good quality fats? And so, easy ways to increase good quality fats is to drizzle olive oil on your foods. And again, this should be extra virgin, cold pressed, ideally olive oil. You can also sprinkle things like, flax seeds, like crushed flax seeds, incorporate chia seeds into your diet. Really any sort of cold pressed flax oil or borage oil. Those are really good sources of dietary oils. I also really like fish oils for people that have dry skin. And I know if you're a vegetarian or vegan, then that might not be an option. And so, as a replacement for fish oils, you can use algal oils. And so, they're made from algae. And both fish oils and algal oils have omega-3 long chain fatty acids, which really help with both skin repair and also decrease inflammation in the body. They also have high amounts of DHA and EPA, which are harder to get from plant based oils like borage and evening primrose. So, to really get those omega-3s that your body needs, the algal oils are a little more expensive than your fish oils, but they work really, really nicely. The second thing you can do to support the oil pathway is to support liver detoxification and liver functioning, because our liver is responsible for breaking down toxins and breaking down fats. And so what can happen is if our liver is not functioning optimally, it'll start to show up in the skin. So you may notice that you get dry skin, your skin might be very itchy as a symptom of low grade liver dysfunction. You might have acne or yeah, like chest acne, back acne, acne on your skin. So if you notice that as a pattern for you, then you may want to try supporting your liver pathways of detoxification. So one option would be taking something like milk thistle seed. Milk thistle seed powder is a really great way of getting milk thistle in, and it's a rejuvenative for the liver. So it really helps. It's very gentle. Um, yeah, it's like a food for your liver. You can think about it like that. So I would recommend taking 500 milligrams of a milk thistle seed powder 2 times a day, every morning and every evening. And you can buy these often in capsule form. I know Oregon's Wild Harvest makes a nice one. You could also buy it from Gaia Herbs. Another way to support liver function is through the use of bitters. And so incorporating bitters into your diet, like dandelion greens and any of our arugula in your salads, those can help support the liver. And then also taking bitters as a bitter tonic or bitter tincture. And there's a really nice bitters blend that they make. Herbalist and Alchemists makes a really nice bitters blend. So you can take that. I would recommend taking that 3 times a day, before or after meals, or both, just a few drops in your mouth. And that will stimulate the liver and liver functioning to help keep those oil pathways of detoxification and nutrition active in the body. Now, what about the third option, excess heat? So if you feel like you tend to run hot, or you tend to kind of feel maybe just kind of yeah, maybe you notice your body is hot, or you just notice your mind is very hot, like you run fast and you play hard, you run fast, maybe you might be considered to be a pitta or fire type in the more traditional forms of medicine. Then if that's the case, then you really need to make sure that you're balancing that excess heat with cooling foods and cooling fluids. So this doesn't mean you need to eat a raw diet. I don't actually recommend the raw diet for most people. It's just too cold for their bodies. But what I mean by cooling foods are foods that don't provoke excess heat and excess agitation. So these would be like vegetables, just steaming broccoli, kale, collards, root vegetables. So, nicely steamed Steaming is a really good way of cooking vegetables for people that run really hot. Making soups um, that have a vegetable base in them would also be really good. That would be very nourishing and soothing. You don't want to add a lot of spice to it. So I wouldn't recommend for people that tend to run really hot, using like sriracha and hot sauces and things like that in their foods or on their soup. So that's one small way. Also, reducing and eliminating caffeine for these types can also be really, really helpful because caffeine is very drying and it's very activating and it's irritating to the liver. So, reducing it, one of my favorite coffee alternatives is called Rasa. And I work as an affiliate for Rasa because I really believe in their product and I drink it about 4 to 5 times a week. And it's basically an adaptogenic blend of herbs and bitter herbs like dandelion root and burdock root and chicory root that actually help to support liver function rather than straining liver function. So I'll include a link on my YouTube page if you want to check out Rasa. You can use my affiliate link and get a discount on your first order. I also recommend replenishing your adrenals with adaptogens and nervines. And so, Rasa will do this for you. You can also use any of the nervines or adaptogens I've mentioned in other talks that might be specific to your own patterns. But, when we're thinking about if we're thinking about it being excess heat, then some of my favorite cooling adaptogens would be things like Schisandra, which is a little bit sour. So it's got that kind of sedative quality. It's kind of a simple sour sedative. I also really like reishi mushroom and any of the mushrooms. Shiitake mushrooms are really good too. Those are really helpful for building and nourishing the adrenals so that you don't burn yourself out. Passion flower is a great nervine. It's a cooling nervine, so it's really good for people that run kind of hot and high stress and might have difficulty sleeping or winding down, and that run really dry. So you might try that. I might combine marshmallow with something. Or combine passion flower with something like marshmallow to get that extra additive moistening effect. There are also a few products out there that I would recommend you try if you tend to run really hot and dry. The first one is called Cool the Flames, and it's a tincture made by Bear Wallow Herbs. That's Bear Wallow, Wallow. Bear Wallow Herbs. They're based out of Mount Shasta, California. And my friend Kara Saunders makes all of the plants and she wildcrafts them up in the Shasta Mountains. So they're wonderful medicines. And so Cool the Flames is a blend of cleavers and chickweed and turmeric and other really anti-inflammatory, cooling and pacifying, sort of heat pacifying herbs. So that would be a really good one to try. I would do 1 to 2 droppers full 2 to 3 times a day. And she makes all of her tinctures with spring water from the Mount Shasta Mountains. So that's a great product. You can also try Herbalist and Alchemist. They make a product called Calm Adapt, and this has ashwagandha, linden, milky oak seed, reishi mushroom, and schisandra berries. And so this would be a really nice tincture blend to take if you know that you run sort of like hot and you tend to exhaust yourself and dry yourself out. And I would take 1 to 2 droppers full 2 to 3 times a day as well. Now, the last thing I'll say is that when we think about dryness from a more cosmological or spiritual perspective, water is the element of our emotions. And so if we're really dried out, I would ask the question, are you feeling spiritually and emotionally nourished? Are you getting the support and the affection that you need to feel loved? Are you giving yourself time to be quiet and reflect? This is one of the gifts of water is water becomes still and then it reflects what's above. So do you have that time to reflect on your life, to process it, and to reflect on the larger gifts of what is present in your life? And so One option for everyone who might be experiencing dryness is to seek out bodies of water. And so for me in Minnesota, there's, the land of 10,000 lakes. There's lots of water. But if you don't live near large lakes or near the ocean, try to find a stream or just seek out some type of natural water source, or even if it's a fountain in the city where you live. But try to be near water and just sit quietly with the water and breathe deep breaths and just, think about dryness and what does dryness mean to you, and are you nourishing yourself? You're giving yourself what you need to be replenished. It's like a well that needs to be refilled, and if the well dries out, that'll show up in our ability to be flexible and pliable, right? I mean, there's an elasticity that water gives us, a resilience that water gives us in our physical body and also in our emotional body. So, are you giving yourself that time that's needed to fill the well? And we can also think about including water in rituals. So, just the daily act of making a marshmallow tea or a passion flower marshmallow tea, or any sort of, just adding the ritual of adding a little bit of a pinch of salt into your water every day. These water rituals, taking baths. And when you get out of the bath, just covering yourself with oil. That is a wonderful, rejuvenating, and nourishing ritual. Um, and anything else, any other way that you can think about connecting with water purposefully in your life may also help you with this pattern of dryness. So let me know what you think, if this resonates with you, and any other products that you've used that have helped with dry skin. I've also found personally with my scalp that I don't wash my hair every day. I wash my hair like every 3 days, and that has made a huge difference. And then also one thing that I do is I use a an apple cider vinegar hair rinse for my hair made by Oshala Farms. So I should have brought that bottle down, but Oshala Farms, they make an apple cider vinegar hair rinse that's made with nettles and a bunch of other really nourishing plants. And after you wash your hair, or between using shampoo, so if I take a shower on day 2 or day 3 and I'm not washing my hair with shampoo, I'll just do an apple cider vinegar rinse just to clean the scalp. And that really also makes your hair very shiny and helps to improve moisture. So you may want to try that too, if you struggle with having a dry scalp. So yeah, I think that's all for today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for following my work. Let me know your thoughts, ideas. When you try any of these, let me know, give me some feedback and let me know how it works for you. Thanks everyone and have a good day.